What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? Yes, Frank Wren is gonna be showing up today. We're trying to get the link working. The link I'm sending him is not working, so we got some technical difficulties. Let me see what I catch up with you guys. Tell them I'm with J-Ro. Look at Professor Wren with his new fancy logo. Thank you, Barks. First inning was disgusting, man, but we're still battling. I like it. Yeah, I mean, you still got bases loaded with one out here. You definitely want to get a few across in this situation. But Miami's offense is doing well. You got Aiden King out of the game. So if you're Miami, you got to feel pretty good about it. A&M just took the lead over Texas State. Ole Miss is beating Nebraska. Hey, Kyle, getting interesting? Yeah, a lot of these games getting interesting. Mingo having a meeting with the hitters right here. Get Miami on. Bases loaded, 1 out. Yeah, I got it up right now. Why is it not working? Big situation here for Miami, right? Like you're down 7-5, bases loaded, 1 out. You had a not great at bat with no outs, ground out to third. And honestly, I thought the run was going to score, but the catcher did a good job picking it. All right, let me. All right, he's in. Finally.
I think I'm here.
Finally. Let me change the how this looks. All right, what's up, Dad?
Nothing. I obviously got a rain delay.
You got squeeze play on right now?
I'm trying.
So we got a lot of Miami fans in here. So we're watching. The Miami's got a big situation right now.
Okay.
They're down 7-5 in the fourth. They got bases loaded, 1 out. They had no outs with bases loaded, and now they've had back-to-back bad at bats with bases loaded. Were you watching the whole Tech game?
I was, yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I thought the kid pitcher for Oklahoma was really good.
A freshman. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be a stud.
He had great stuff, and that split fork thing that he was throwing.
Yeah, split finger, yeah.
It's they said it's a modified, not a true split, but it if you want to slow down a big hitting team,
split finger. You
throw that pitch, I don't care who you are.
Yeah. Yeah, he had fastball command, and it was 94, 97, and he could throw that split really pretty much whenever he wanted to, and he just threw it right off the fastball, and just Georgia Tech hitters had nothing.
He was just wild enough.
Yes.
That you
just wild. Yeah, exactly. And if you're throwing 97, you can be, you don't have to be elite strike thrower with your off speed. And it's like one thing I said the last couple of nights, I've said, if you throw strikes with your fastball, your off speed doesn't have to be a strike. It just has to look like a strike out of the hand if you throw strikes with your fastball, because they're like, it's a fastball. They swing through it. Polka, Frank's here. Polka in the chat. What's up, Dan?
Uh-oh.
Big Dan in the chat. We were hoping that the Fighting Dan Polkas at Rhode Island were going to make the tournament.
Is that the pride of Rhode Island? What are they? The Red Hens, or what are
they? They lost to VCU in the championship.
Yeah.
But VCU's playing great. And Dan did tell me that VCU had legit arms, and their starter today against – who was it? Was it Tennessee? Was throwing like 94, 95 for VCU. So, legit.
Well, how about the Milwaukee team?
Yeah.
I mean, they're rolling again. They're rolling again tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they look like they could potentially be like the Murray State of this year, but I think even more of a surprise than Murray State, because Murray State at least is in a pretty good mid-major conference. I think Milwaukee, in terms of RPI, is one of the lowest RPI teams in the tournament. And when I was following the game yesterday, I saw them get out to a 4-0 lead, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy, because Auburn has like the best pitching staff in the country. And then it was 10-0, and it's like, what is going on? Need Frank's thoughts on state of the Red Sox from Diamond Baseball Stats. Dad, what do you think there?
Well, that's what happens with baseball operations.
Yeah,
it sounds like a mess. They had a great manager. Alex is one of the best managers in the game, and when you run him off, that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, 100%. And I think me and you talked about this last weekend or whatever when we were down there. All you had to see was the opening press conference for Craig Breslow, and you knew,
Yeah.
And you
Oh
think
my gosh.
with the issues that the Red Sox had with Chaim Bloom being a, pure analytics type guy, you think they would have kind of gone back to more of like a kind of a Dave Dombrowski type guy, which is like, utilizes analytics, but also has the baseball side of the game in their head as well. And it just seems like that didn't learn from the first mistake.
Right. Well, it's funny when I got to Boston, one of the things that I was surprised to learn, and I always had a lot of respect for Theo Epstein.
Yeah.
But Theo was much more baseball oriented than he was analytics. He had a good mix of both. But the guys there will tell you that he really relied on his scouts and relied on his baseball people, and he had a good baseball mind. He wasn't straight analytics.
And that's people don't know that, right? Most people think Theo Epstein's just pure analytics and that that's all he thinks about. But like you mentioned, there's a lot of analytics guys that they're like, oh, scouts. Why do I need to talk to those guys?
There's in the game today. The scouts are probably the most frustrated group of people in the game because they are hardly called, hardly referenced, so it's tough.
Yeah. Kane says, when can we get Frank Wren at the Miami Baseball Forum?
The Miami Baseball Forum.
Yeah, Kane's is a big Miami guy. Big Miami.
Oh, wow.
Miami
Wow.
fan, yeah.
Well, I had a lot of good years in Miami, including a World Series.
Yeah. The Florida Marlins. Back when they were the Florida Marlins.
That's right.
And you were offered by Miami, right? Out of high school. Is that right?
No. Offered by Florida and Florida State.
Wow.
And Liberty. Florida State, and Liberty.
And Liberty. Wow. Miami.
And USF.
And South Florida. Okay.
Yeah.
Red Berry wants to know, tell your dad that. That's how Cubs ended up with Schwarber. Yep. All right. So looking at some of these games right now, Nebraska has bases loaded. They're down 3-1 in the sixth. So big situation for Nebraska. Cincinnati and Mississippi State are tied 1-1 in the fourth. A&M's up 3-2 on Texas State in the fourth. And Alabama is up 5-2 on South Carolina upstate. Georgia Tech is in a rain delay. Tell him Redberry said that he knows Red. Redberry, Dad?
Redberry.
Redberry, are you spelling his name right, Canes? Callaway, this Kyle guy, answer why he was so wrong about Kentucky over Mercer. Hey, I sent the tweet out, okay? I said Kentucky fans, let it eat, all right? And I said, so Dad, if you don't know, on Twitter, I said, I thought Mercer deserved to be in over Kentucky.
Right.
Kentucky has, of course, gone on to go 2-0 in their regional as the 3 seed. And so I'm getting blown up by Kentucky fans on Twitter. So rightfully so. And I tweeted out, I said, all right, Kentucky fans, just let it eat. Let it eat. Actually, I think I'm going to pull up one of the best ones I got. I'm still getting blown up on it. I'm still getting blown up. This is the best tweet or the best thing I got on social media here. Let me pull this up so you guys can see this. Someone made this picture. Or we can't see it. Let me
Oh, there we go. UK.
Yeah, someone put me in the UK outfit. So,
well, that goes back to my heritage. My dad and mom both grew up in Kentucky, and Dad lived and died Kentucky basketball.
I know. That's what I said. I was like, that's what I was telling people on social media. I'm like, listen, I don't hate Kentucky. Like my family has my grandfather was a massive Kentucky fan. Right. I'm just saying their resume was not the best. They went 2-8 in SEC series, but they ended up 13-17 in SEC play, and they got in. At least you're a good sport about it. Go Cats. Thank you, Callaway. Thank you. Red is almost 90 years old, a legend down here. Did you talk about UCLA already? No, we have not talked about UCLA. So UCLA looked like they were about to get eliminated by Virginia Tech, and they had some more of those late games. Remember, Dad, what we talked about with UCLA? And I actually brought it up on the stream a couple nights ago. I said we were talking about UCLA and how they've had to come back and win in the ninth inning as of late. Like they've been down late, but they found a way to come back and win. And you said, I was talking about how that may be kind of a sign that they're a weaker team. And you said, well, it's also a good sign that when they're down late, they can find a way to come back and win.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so they were down.
I watched the game.
Yeah. They were down by 2, came
Yeah.
back, tied it, and then ended up walking it off.
They looked dead for the last 4 or 5 innings.
Yes.
And the kid from Virginia Tech was throwing really well. And then, he just ran out of gas.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do think it is UCLA their offense has been not very good for the last probably 4 weeks. They do have really good pitching. They don't give up a lot of runs. I do think even though they lost game 1 against the 4 seed as the number 1 seed in the tournament, I do think they can come back and win that regional because they are deep enough pitching wise. I told Kyle I can get him a job at Miami if he wants. We need more recruiting help with ESA. Thanks, Gaines. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
What's Frank's thoughts on the UCLA draft prospects? He's not locked in enough to tell you about the UCLA draft prospects. And
the shortstop's a good-looking kid. Watching him today.
Rock Chalowski. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I like his swing.
Yeah, he's got a good swing. He's athletic. He looks like a player.
Yeah, that's what I've said. I haven't watched a ton of UCLA, but he's got a really good arm. He's got smooth actions at short. I think he can stick it short. And I really like his swing. I think it's smooth. It's like effortless. He's got pop. It'll be interesting to see. I think at this point, though, with what Von Lackey's done of the last couple weeks, I don't know how he doesn't go number 1 overall. Because I think right now he's consensus top 3 pick. But now yesterday he hit 456. Today he hit at 468. He's hitting over 400, 20 home runs, and he's elite defender at catch. He's maybe the most athletic catcher in the draft, certainly out of college in like the last 2 or 3 decades, in my opinion. I don't know, like who in your mind, Dad, out of the last like 30 years, as far as athletic catchers go, like what would you say? Like maybe the top 1 or 2 guys that you can remember.
Most athletic, probably number 1 was Craig Biggio.
Okay,
because he came out. Yeah. He came out as a catcher.
Yeah.
And but they didn't want to destroy his legs because he could really run.
Really run and hit.
Yeah, and BJ Surhoff as well.
He was a catcher as well.
Yeah,
and then moved to the outfield.
Yeah, and then
did he move straight to the outfield after getting drafted, or did he catch some in the minors?
I think he did, and then obviously Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper was a catcher.
Yeah. I think though, do you think Von Lackey, of the games you've seen, do you think he's better defensively than those guys? Probably.
I think he's better defensively. Hit the comp for me, and the guys in Miami obviously will recognize Charles Johnson.
Yeah,
he is Charles Johnson. I mean, he carries himself physically. Everything about him is Charles Johnson actions wise. Yeah, but he's got a more elite bat.
Yeah, more elite bat. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the bat.
And Charles couldn't run a lick. I mean, Charles could not run, but Charles was an elite defender.
Yeah, from a defensive comp, it's Charles Johnson. Yeah.
Yes.
Polka says UCLA not the best team, but they know how to win. Huge advantage. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
James, we want Kyle as TCU hitting coach. Thanks, JD. Curse would stuff Chalowski in a locker. Maybe.
Uh-oh.
Diamond baseball stats. Catchers that hit like that never stay as catchers. Look at Ben Rice. Yeah, that's a good point. And that's something that, you brought up, Dad, is like a lot of times when the bat is, if they think the bat is that elite, it's like, and especially with a guy like Von Lackey who played all 8 defensive positions one game this season. You could move him to, he runs well enough to play center field. So it's like you could really move him to a lot of different positions if you feel like it. Toby Cowart, go Jackets. Who is Charles Johnson? Canes, you got to be kidding me, bro. He was the catcher for the Florida Marlins, man. Come on,
and
dude.
Miami and the Canes.
And Miami, yeah, Miami Hurricanes. Come on. Yeah. I didn't know he played for Miami.
Yeah.
Slack Wilson. Of the catchers I saw, it was Buster, who you'd want to compare to of contemporary guys. Vaughn is way better behind the dish than Buster. We have Charles Johnson on our current team. Come on. JD said Alonso Alvarez will be better than Charles Johnson. Okay, well, we'll see. Yeah. Nancy Pygal. What's up, Nancy? He said yesterday he will go down as our best catcher ever. Well, that's high praise. Slack Wilson, how can a Canes fan be questioning who Charles Johnson is? Yeah, well, he's a little bit younger than most of us here. Will be interesting if Daniel Jackson stays as a catcher also. Yeah, the catcher at Georgia, Dad, he's like 20, 25, 26 home runs. He has a potential to be a 30-30 guy. I don't think he's quite the defender that Von Lackey is, but he's another guy that you would probably say he's more likely to move off the catcher position with what he's done offensively, right?
Yeah, because it's also an advantage to have a shutdown catcher. Guy that shuts down everything. I mean, because Lackey appears to have all the tools behind the plate to shut down the game, to keep the ball in front of him, to receive it well. He does everything. He does everything you want a catcher to do.
Yeah, and I think a good point on that is certainly before they made the change of you can only pick off twice, and the bases are a little bit bigger now. The running game was not as prevalent for a long time. Certainly when I was playing for a while, like that wasn't really valued. Nobody really stole a lot of bases. But now when you can only pick off twice, you kind of really do need a better defensive catcher in the run game than you did for like from 2015 to 2024 or whatever it was when they changed the rule. So it makes more sense.
Well, there was about 10 years where speed was devalued.
Yeah.
And on base and speed was devalued, and it was all about power. And then they made some changes to bring speed back into the game.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay Rays are. I think I tweeted about something, and it got the video was about how Tampa Bay is like they've identified using analytics that we can have a bunch of speed guys that put the ball in play at a high rate, and they're killing Major League Baseball right now. In terms of their record. And I tweeted out basically like, for 100 years, like these guys were considered valuable, and we went through a period where they weren't considered as valuable. And now it's kind of, it's a competitive advantage because every team out there has guys hitting 230 with a decent slugging percentage, but you can't depend on them to put the ball in play in big situations. And Tampa Bay's like, we're just gonna have a bunch of guys that can put the ball in play.
Well, the other aspect of that, if you look back at Moneyball, when the whole Moneyball thing came into play in the early 2000s, the one aspect they had identified that on base percentage was being undervalued. So we'll get guys with on base, but the thing they didn't add to that equation were athletes. They got guys that were high on base guys, but they weren't necessarily base runners, were not necessarily defenders. And so, but now if you get on base and you get speed and athleticism, now you've got a baseball player.
Yeah, and you can pitch, then you're good.
Oh, yeah, if you can pitch, you can win.
Yeah.
And so if you can add the rest, but I've always said, if you can pitch, you can win.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. And we've talked about that a bunch throughout the college season, that it's better to have elite pitching and a decent offense than have an elite offense and decent pitching, just because that elite pitching is typically going to equalize the elite offense. And then it's a matter of, okay, can you win a one-run game? And the team with the elite pitching is going to be more likely to be able to win the one-run game. And that's just as true all the way up top to the major league level. All right.
It sounds like we're building an old-time team.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like you're going to exactly.
Sounds like we're building a team from the 70s and 80s in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it's going to be, and it's going to be framed as analytics has figured out this new. It's like the Malcolm Muggeridge quote. One of my favorite quotes is, "All new news is old news said by new people."
Yeah, you look at the Cardinals.
We've rediscovered that having a balanced type offense with guys that can run a little bit, a couple guys that can drive it out of the park and then defend, or that can make a pretty good team.
Yeah, the Royals, the Reds, the Cardinals of the 70s and 80s. I mean, that's what they did.
Yep, 100%. Diamond says, will be interesting. See if Daniel Jackson stays a catcher. Yep, switch hitter. Kane's about Alonso Alvarez. Switch hitter, catcher, and a true freshman. Also the best defensive catcher we've ever had. No, man, I was asking you, who did you compare to Charles Johnson? Because we have Charles Johnson on our team, according to JD. He was talking about Von Lackey defensively. Diamond, need Kyle to get a college head coach job with Frank as his GM. All right, we'll work on it. All right. He's retired though. I don't know if he wants to come out of retirement. Nancy, hi guys. What's up, Nancy? Slack, laugh out loud, Kyle. The people on Twitter had no idea how to interpret your tweet on the identification of market inefficiencies. Yeah, I know. Like a lot of people were like, they've just identified a market inefficiency, and I was like, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Except the market inefficiency is something that 20 years ago would have been like, yeah, everybody knows that.
That's how we built teams.
That's how everybody did.
Defense with good pitching.
Yeah. Well, I always bring up the story with you about who was the second baseman in the minor leagues that raked, and Dan Uggla was still playing second, and he was hitting like 340 in Mississippi, then he hit 340 in Gwinnett, left-handed hitter. And I called you and I was like, hey, when is this guy? I was in like AA at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, when is this guy going to get? He played at Coastal Carolina. What's his name?
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Right.
But I called you and I was in like AA and I'm like, hey, is this guy going to get called up soon? And you were like, man, if I thought he could turn a double play every time, he'd be up here right now.
Right.
And I always use that as a story of like, when you have a really good pitching staff like you guys had at the time, your argument was like, Dan Uggla's not doing what I want from him offensively right now, but he will turn every double play that we need him to turn.
Right.
And with our pitching staff, like that's more important than having a guy that's maybe a little bit better offensively, but in a 8th inning double play situation in a 1-run game, he may not get it done.
Right. An out in the middle infield, out has to be an out.
Yes.
And if you got a chance for 2, you got to get the 2.
And I think that's another reason Tampa Bay is doing it as well. Is certainly there's been a move to favor offense over defense in the last 10 or 15 years, where teams are, they're like, you know what, we'll sacrifice a little bit defensively to have a guy that can slug in the lineup. So if you do have guys that put the ball in play and put pressure on the defense, even if it's not a hit, you're going to get more errors are going to get made and everything like that. And I think we turned on some game, or maybe it was highlights. And when I was down there and like the first thing we saw, remember, it was like a pop up to the infield and it just fell in between everybody. And we're just like, this just happens all the time now in Major League Baseball. Canes, also Daniel Polk, I have a question for you, brother. How different is the current exit meetings with your current players compared to when you were at Georgia Tech? All right, we'll wait Dan's response. Diamond, so many people, or go ahead, Dad.
Kyle, that player was Tommy LaStella.
Tommy LaStella. Yep, LaStella.
Yeah. And he actually went to the Cubs and did a really good job as an extra player.
He had a solid career. I think maybe 6-7 years in the big league, something like that.
Yeah.
So many people just look at exit velocity and launch angle now. Yeah. And again, those are important. Those are important things, but you need a little bit more context than just that. Nick Nodelman, it's weird how extreme thought processes are, like all one way or the other. On, over, in still works. Yeah. Yep. Get them on, get them over, get them in. Yeah. And it's just like, I understand the whole slugging percentage. I understand why that's valued, right? If a guy hits extra base hits a ton, like you get guys in scoring position, but you also need a guy. I always make this argument, Dad, when people tell me that batting average isn't important and doesn't predict someone's value. I said, all right, well, 9th inning, tie game, runner on second with 1 out, or runner on third with 1 out. Do you want a guy up that hits 230 with like a better slugging percentage, or do you want a guy up that hits 305 and can put the ball in play and get him in? You want that guy, right? So that guy is way more valuable in that situation.
And that's what happened during the long haul of the season. You get away with it the other way, but when you get to the postseason, the teams that can put the ball in play, you got to move the baseball. I mean, that's the key.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, when you have run scoring opportunities, you got to be able to get them in. And you got runners on third, no outs, 1 out. They have to score. Canes, I love you, Dan Uggla. Diamond, was there a guy Frank wanted really bad in his career that they didn't get and turned out to be a stud? Dad, any guys you can think of, like in the draft, maybe, or maybe as a free agent or anything like that? You told the story about Mike Trout, right? One time, or something with the draft where you guys thought he was really good or something like that, and
we did, but we didn't. We didn't pick. We didn't have a pick. We liked him a lot. No, I think if you look back at the history of the draft, there's always guys. There's years where there's 4 or 5 really good players, maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And then it's that next group that of 20, 25 guys that you can flip a coin.
Yeah. And they may be a big league regular, or they may not make it at
exactly.
all.
Exactly.
Yeah. So talk about that a little bit. When you're looking at the draft, even in the first round, because I think some people think like, oh, you're the last pick in the first round. You're looked at closer to the same as a guy who's the first overall pick than a guy who's like a 4th round pick. But that's really not how it is, right? Like,
no, I think you like I said, every draft is different. There's times we'd go into the draft room and our scouts would say, this is a really deep draft. We're picking 15, 16, and we're going to get as good a player as the 5th pick. There's not a whole lot of difference. And then there's years we'd go into the draft and they would say there's 3 good players in this draft. The rest of them are probably 2nd round guys.
3 good players in the draft, right?
The 3 guys
that could be a potential big league, like regular possible all-star.
Impact player in the big leagues. Because that's what you're expecting when you're picking high in the draft. You're expecting getting impact player. I think most of those guys are going to play in the big leagues. It's whether they will make an impact in the big leagues and change your franchise.
Yeah, it's whether they play a year or 2 in the big leagues, or they're there for 8 or 9 years.
That's right. And so you're trying to make an impactful pick, not just get a big leaguer.
Yes. The Miami, Florida is a great battle. The Miami versus Florida is a great battle. Just disgusted that our defense is costing us from blowing these bums out. Kyle, give me your read on 2026 Jackets. I saw someone on Twitter earlier today make the comment that the team feels cool. I just think there is a different vibe and energy about the team. Like I think for most Georgia Tech fans, certainly over the last like 10 or 15 years, you just kept waiting for the team to go through a little bit of a dry spell, and they really never did. I mean, they lost to UNC on the road, who ended up being the number 2 team in the country. But besides that, I mean, they've just been so consistent. So I just feel like this team has it in them to do something special. Dusty Isaacs, gentlemen, evening, Frank. What's up, Dusty? Canes, would Frank Wren have preferred if you were able to trade or acquire draft picks, like actual draft picks, not the comp picks that they let you acquire now? Would you have liked it if you could have traded up for like a draft pick or something like that?
Not really, because I think that there's a tendency to try to win now. If you're a major league general manager, you're expected to win, and if you have the ability to trade draft picks, you trade your future, and so actually having your hands tied in that area was a blessing.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Dusty, are you watching us? Yes, I'm watching. Rooting hard for Miami. Yep. Slack. In the face of adversity, while the fans are puckering, I get it both ways, but generally get so worried given how the last 20 years have been. This feels to me like the closest we've been to 2005, 2006, where it was basically F you, everyone in our lineup is going to crush you. Yeah, I mean, that's basically the team. Sorry, my comments got split by poor typing. Is Frank at the lake house? No, he's in his office at the regular house.
Yeah.
Couple weeks from now, though, right? Right? We're going to the lake in a couple weeks, right?
Exactly.
Yes. All right. So Miami, let's see. I just saw a base hit down the line. Bases loaded, 1 out for Miami in the 5th. They're down 8-6. So big situation there. Oregon's up 1-0 on Washington State. Ole Miss is threatening with 2 outs. They're still up 3-1 on Nebraska. I think the Georgia Tech game I think the tarp was pulled off the field, but I don't know when the game's going to be restarting. Can we hear Frank's honest scouting report on Kyle Wren as a player? All right, Dad, let it eat. Honest scouting report.
On base, speed player. Move the ball, which was important. Good defender.
Yep.
So
something like that.
Premium speed.
Hey, he drafted me, so he's got to think I was kind of a good player, right?
I was hands off on that.
Yeah. That's what you say.
No, I was in the draft room, and the scouting director came to me and said, "We're not going to let Kyle go another pick. If he's there this round, we're going to take him."
Yeah.
So I said, "Okay, if that's what you guys think."
Yeah. Well, I think I was projected to go like 205 or something like that, and it was like 256, I think, when
Something like
you
that.
guys picked me.
Something
So
like that.
it wasn't like I was picked before where I was projected. So that's
Right.
fine. Slack says it's back on for 1050. Okay, nice. I told you Florida isn't a good team. Miami just has the worst defense I've ever seen. Miami's defense is really bad. I think they've made like 80 something errors, Dad, in like 60 games.
That's rough.
And they have really good starting pitching. Offense is really good. Their defense is bad. Their bullpen is not good. Frank with MLB trade rumors in the background intentionally. Old habits die hard. You got MLB trade rumors in the background, Dad?
No. Where?
I don't know. That's what Dusty's saying.
No.
Move the ball. LMAO, not exactly what you want to hear. Kind of like a command guy. That's what Dusty said. Kind of like a command guy. Frank's honest report of Isaacs from Jordan Wren. Dusty Isaacs scouting report, Dad. What do you got on that? Be brutally honest.
Sinker slider.
Command guy.
Made him put it in play. Battler.
Command guy, probably, right? Polka, if I was your dad, I'd have drafted you second round on makeup alone. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. Nick Nodelman, speaking of 26 jackets, I saw Zuckerman picked up a low evaluation for the draft from Baseball America. Is there a chance he's still a jacket next year? No, I don't think any chance. I mean, he's going to go. I think the biggest thing with Zuckerman is just the swing and miss. Like, he still strikes out a ton. He's hit 23 home runs. He's sitting around 350. So he's going to get picked high enough to go. But I think there is a lot. I mean, if you're striking out, I think the last time I checked, and you could talk about how this translates, Dad, but if you're striking out like 30% of your at-bats in college, what is that going to translate to at like the AA level and then potentially the big league level?
Not very good. It's not going to get better.
Well, I think you always told me what you expected the strikeout rate to, on average, go up like 10% in the big league level from the minor league level, right?
At least 10%, yeah. And then the same thing going as you go up the levels, and it's hard to depend on that guy as a hitter that's striking out that much.
Yeah.
Regardless of what the current hitting coaches and gurus tell you, strikeouts matter a lot.
Yeah, and if you're striking out that rate in college, it's one thing if you're striking out at 30% in like AA or AAA and you're hitting a bunch of home runs, you're going to take a chance on that guy at the next, let's see what he can do to get up in the big leagues. But if you're doing that in college, I think that's probably the reason why, because I think he plays pretty good defense at third. He's got a good arm.
Mm-hmm.
He's hitting 350 with 23 home runs. So he checks off a lot of boxes that people value right now, but he's not projected to go as high as I think people would think. Okay, so we all love Dusty, first round dude. Yeah, we're debating ABS here at the ballpark with Gators fans. We're all in agreement that it should be used in the NCAA tournament next year. I have no problem with that. I think it'd be fine. I don't think the umpires would like that very much, Dad. What do you think with the ABS challenge system?
I think they hate it.
Yeah.
I think I'm.
What's your thoughts on it?
I think in general, it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
I think because I came from an era where every umpire, we knew their strike zone.
Yeah, they all had different ones, but you kind of adjusted to it.
We adjusted. We knew it. The players knew it. There wasn't a lot of complaining about it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, in the early 2000s, Sandy Alderson, he left Oakland, became the guy in charge of baseball ops for Major League Baseball, decided he was going to whip the umpires into shape and create a standardized strike zone, and used basically ABS as a training tool for them.
Yeah.
And graded every game. And once that happened, it almost became unnatural for the guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's guys that are low ball umpires and guys that are high ball umpires. And there's, guys that call balls off the plate, guys that call balls in. Not as many call in.
Yeah. They're usually pretty tight in because they're lined up there.
That's where they sit.
Yeah.
They sit there. So, but once that happened, it became less natural for the umpires.
Yeah.
And I think, that I don't think the game was any better for it.
Yeah. 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 I think there's positives and negatives to it, but I think at some point we're getting to the point where they're going to say, why do we even have umpires if we can just have a system call balls and strikes? And then it's like, man, I don't want that to happen. I like the umpires. Every once in a while when the umpire makes a mistake, I mean, that makes the game exciting, and coaches go out and argue, and it sucks if you're on the bad side of it, but that's part of the game. All right, Buck, the Cincinnati righty is coming from such a crazy angle, impossible for righties. I'll have to take a look at him. Polka also dude, but lower because of the Sleasley connection. Dusty, I know there is swing and miss with Zuckerman, but I don't understand how he isn't a top 100 pick. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. I mean, I feel like in most years, there's always guys that have similar swing and miss, but have done what they've done and are a top 100 pick.
I'd be curious on
I'd
be curious on Zuckerman, what his batting averages are against certain velocities.
Yeah, that may be it too.
Because just watching him, and I haven't watched him a ton, it seems like that swing gets a little long.
Yep.
And that's why he goes out to right.
Yep.
And the higher velocities, I think, as better scouting reports, that may be his Achilles heel. I don't know that for sure, but that's just in a quick look.
Yeah, I think that could be it too. Like fastball over 92 or 93, all of a sudden his numbers aren't nearly as good. Right. Or he's got like that. He's got slider bat speed where he just hits really well off speed. But if you challenge him with a fastball, top part of the zone, he's going to struggle. Canes, yes, a Little League team can field better than Miami. Tie effing game, Canes. Miami tied it with Florida. Polka, I mean, it's refreshing to not see Logan Hernandez get a strike halfway in the other batter's box. Let's be real. It is refreshing. And I think, or Levon Hernandez, like the Levon Hernandez game, the famous game.
Hey.
Yeah.
I got a World Series ring from that.
Yeah, the game where he was like, it's like the famous game where it's like maybe the worst strike zone of all time. And I mean, and the thing that's most amazing about it is I think it was like 14 or 15 strikeouts in that game. And it was against Atlanta. And like Chipper Jones.
It was in the NLCS.
Yeah. Oh, it was in the NLCS.
In LCS. And the big thing, and believe me, I can't tell you the number of dinners I had with Bobby Cox and John Schuerholz after I joined the Braves.
Where they talked about that game?
Where that game would come up, and I just had to shut up.
Yeah.
Because I obviously was on the other side of it. But if the full story is the night before, Bobby is screaming at the umpires for pitches this far off the plate.
Yeah.
He
wants them to be strikes. He wants them to be strikes.
Yeah, for Glavine and those guys, every pitch like this was needed to be a strike. And Eric Gregg said, okay, if it's a strike for your guy, it'll be a strike for their guy too.
Yeah.
And so he started calling them. And the Braves were livid.
But what's interesting is you watch some of these guys like take strike 3 and it's like 6 inches off the plate and they don't even say it. Some of them just walk back to the dugout like, oh yeah, good pitch. And you're like, and that's one thing I talk about too is, the guys that make the argument that pitching is just so much better now that guys just can't hit. The pitching's just too good. I said, have you ever seen the strike zones that they played with in like the 90s? And like, even if the stuff was on average a little bit worse, the strike zones were so much bigger and they still had a lot of success. Like they had to hit balls that were off the plate. Whereas now the strike zone's a tin can and stuff may be a little bit better, but you don't have to hit a ball that's 3 inches off the plate with 2 strikes.
No. 3. I mean,
3 was, that's conservative.
Yeah, it was 2 to 3 balls off the plate.
Yeah. The Canes have that dog in them. All right, Canes. Did Dan answer my question, or he can't talk about those things as a coach respectfully? I don't know. You send him a DM. Dusty, in my opinion, Zuckerman can handle velocity even when he gets beat because he is strong, albeit long. I do wonder how Zuckerman does against premium stuff, 92, 95, with a real slider. But I have the same with you. Have the same concerns with Lackey. Is that what you're saying? Nick Nodelman, I still cuss about that game, the Braves Marlins game that you're talking about. Yeah, I didn't realize that was the NLCS.
Yeah,
was that the World Series year?
Yes,
it was. Okay, wow. So that that's a Braves fans remember that one then.
Big time.
All right, let's see here.
And that was because Alex Fernandez, another Cane, got hurt, and so Levon had taken his spot in the rotation.
Diamond, How much baseball being watched in retirement, Dad? How much baseball?
Not
as much as you. Not. Yeah, that's what I tell. That's what I tell him. I was like, he watches some college baseball and maybe a little bit of Major League Baseball, but not. It's tough when you in the game and you have a team. And I tell guys this: growing up, I was always a fan of the team that you worked for.
Right.
And then once I got done playing and you were out of the game, it's like you don't really have a team.
Right.
So, like, you may watch a game because you know guys on the team, but it's not like you're a fan following a team. Whereas when you were with, the Braves in particular, I was like following every spring training game, watching every game and locked in. But then that goes away when you're involved in baseball. So it's not, and it's tougher to watch now too.
Yeah, it's different. And for me, because I spent every waking moment watching games, because when you're a general manager, you're watching every game that's on, because you're trying to see a player that you're not familiar with. A young player just came up with the Cubs. You want to watch that game and see what he looks like if you haven't laid eyes on him. And you're always looking for trade pieces and all that kind of. So you're watching all the time,
every game.
And so once I got out of the game, it was like a relief. I mean, I don't have to watch. I don't have to watch it. And so the longer I've been out, the less I've watched.
Yeah. Polka Canes, that's a long one. I don't want to fill the feed. They're similar. The portal adds some interesting twists, but 90% of the time, who hits the portal. The good kids who are also talented communicate that stuff because they are advanced. The blind ones are usually red flags, to be honest. There's all kinds of situations that go into it. I'll explain with Kyle Love soon. I think that was a live soon. Explain with Kyle live soon. All right, nice. We'll have Dan live on the show at some point. Yes, Dusty, same concerns with Lackey. Pay more money to get more characters. My God, it's been pissing me off for 3 years. What do you mean get more characters? You can just you can write as long as you want. Just write 2. Jeez. All right, so Miami and Florida are tied 8-8 in the 5th. Wow, this has been an offensive game, even with both teams having good starting pitching. Bottom 5, Florida has a runner on first. Georgia Tech game will be coming back on in just a few minutes. Ole Miss is now up 5-1 on Nebraska. So they are looking to go 2-0 in the Lincoln Regional, which I think that was a regional we talked about being, upsettable, just because Nebraska plays in the Big Ten, and the Big Ten is like the 6th best conference or 5th best conference in college baseball. So they're not battle tested. And then Mississippi State and Cincinnati are still in a little bit of a dogfight in the 5th inning, 1-1, though Mississippi State does have bases loaded with 2 outs. About to have to duck out of here back to the Tech game. Hope you and Frank have a good night. Thanks, Slack. Dusty and Polka, big hugs to you guys. Hope to see you soon. All right, see you, Josh. I know your real name. Josh was the manager our freshman year at Georgia Tech. He was the student manager. And the joke is he's like 6'5" or 6'6", and we all thought he was a player on the team. We thought he was like one of the big studs on the team. We found out he was a student manager. Oh, my gosh. Or actually, I think Dusty or Polka said they thought he was a pro guy back, like getting some work in before he headed to when the fall season was starting. Dusty, do not sleep on Cincinnati. Built different up there. What do you think, Dad? Built different up in Cincinnati, or?
No doubt about that.
Hey, they're playing right tight with Mississippi State right now.
Might be those guys out of the Miami Valley Conference.
Miami, yeah. Yeah, probably has a bunch of guys from there. Cincinnati now is in the, if you can believe, it's crazy how many teams have moved conferences. Cincinnati, I think, is now in the Big 12.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a Power 4 team now. But probably got a lot of players out of that. The Ohio Valley Summer League? Dusty was the number 1 prospect in the Ohio Valley League or whatever.
Well, there was the high school conference that Dusty and I both played in was the Miami Valley Conference.
Miami Valley. Okay. Oh my gosh. Mississippi State, Cincinnati almost just pulled off a amazing play to get out, but Mississippi State does take the lead. That was close. Josh is way more physical than Wieters. Dusty thought that. I saw Josh build and knew that wasn't the case. All right, Polka. There you go, Frank. Dusty says. Dusty knows about the
That's right.
Miami Valley League. All right, so Miami Gets the second out in the bottom of the fifth. So 1 out away from getting the bats back in the dugout. A&M still up 4-2. Man, Cincinnati Mississippi State hit a ball deep in the 6 hole. Shortstop made a really great play to try to get the force out at second, but looks like he was safe. I think they are going to do a replay. Jake Adams just switched over to watch the Spurs win. Came back hoping your header was blue. No luck. Sorry, man. Not putting the Kentucky blue in the header. Sorry, man. You guys got me. So far, regional's not won yet, but maybe if Kentucky makes it to Omaha, I'll change the color for a day or something. I don't know. We'll see. Let's check to see the Georgia Tech game. Let me turn off squeeze play here for a second and see if the Georgia Tech game is coming back on. Because it's a big situation. Bases loaded, 1 out, I think, right? Is that what it was? All right, yeah, the game is back on. Georgia Tech's now up 9-3. And they just made another pitching change in 7. So Georgia Tech, Dad, looking like they're going to go 2-0.
Yeah.
How about the Parker Brocious kid who has I think 12 home runs now in like 80 at bats. And he was kind of a backup, then turned into a platoon. He would start against lefties. And then about 3 weeks ago, he turned into the starter, and he's just been the best player in college baseball.
No, it's incredible. Weeks. I mean, he's putting such good swings on it right now.
Great at bats, great swings.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's good defense. He can run.
Well, Dusty, what you keep waiting for is when he hits these home runs, all of a sudden to just start, going for
taking big swings,
and coming out of his swing, and he's been able to stay within himself, which is really hard to do once you're having success.
Yeah, and he's got like 25 walks and 80 at bats too.
Yeah,
like incredible walk rate. Dusty, Georgia Tech going in cruise control. Kyle, do you realize the last time Georgia Tech took the field with a chance to get to super regionals? The last time was it with us? Was it with us? Holding you to that? All right, Jake, you literally won't believe it. Dusty, was it back with us?
Was it up at Vandy?
I mean, we were played in a regional final at Vandy. We played in the regional final
at Florida?
Maybe at Florida too. I can't, maybe not. I know definitely at Vandy we did. Javi, why isn't Lackey getting more love to go 1-1? I don't know, Javi. I think he's right now consensus top 3 pick. In my opinion, is what he's done the last couple weeks. I don't know how he's not getting 1-1 traction. And again, I mean, it's tough when Chalowski's projected to go 1-1. He's playing shortstop. Like, that is the most sought after position. But what Lackey's doing is just incredible. Durso's coming in again, baby. Let's go. Daniel, also thank you. Dusty Frank, get Uncle Dave in on Brocious. He could hit after Schwarber tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, at some point, like, even if scouts were like, they had nothing on him, you have to think like, well, this guy's hit 12 home runs and 80 at bats. He's got 25 walks. He's a good defender. He has a great at bat. He's professional at bat. It's like, take a flyer on him, just draft him, sign him as a free agent. Brocious has to get drafted or free agent signed at least. I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see. Sometimes it doesn't happen. No, it wasn't. It was 2006 when they went. Didn't we play in a regional final against Vandy? I swear we did.
Yeah.
When we played at Vandy in Florida, we had to beat them twice. But didn't Hedinger beat he dueled whoever it was for Vandy? I thought we beat Vandy once, and then we played them in the final, and we didn't beat them.
Did Hedinger, was that Leiter?
No, that was Leiter was like 5 years ago. It was.
Oh, that's right. Leiter
like
was
Carson Walker
there.
Bueller because we beat Walker Bueller. Yeah, we played Vandy in a regional final because we beat Walker Bueller, and then we faced their lefty, who I think he ended up pitching in the big leagues. I can't remember his name, but he was like 92, 95, and we ended up losing that game. Kappa, love the stream. Pops and Son and love college baseball regionals. Let's go. Thanks, Kappa. Dusty, no, it was Walker Bueller. Yeah, yeah. Hedinger outdueled Walker Buehler, and I remember facing him in college, Dad, when he was that was his freshman year, and he was like 92, 95, but it was like very hittable. And then 4 or 5
Oh
years
my
later
gosh.
in AAA, I faced him, and he was like 98 to 100 with 5 pitches, all for strikes, and they were all plus. And it was like, this guy is a totally different guy now.
Well, I saw him in the big leagues the next year in LA, and I remember calling Dave and telling him, "This is the best pitcher I've seen all year.
Yeah,
This
unbelievable.
guy, this guy's stuff is just
Yeah, he
electric."
was when I faced him in Colorado Springs, it was like, this is not the guy I remember. This guy is a total monster. Dusty, if we beat Vandy, we would have went to supers. I don't think so, right? Yeah, we played them in the regional final. We won.
Right.
We made it to the regional final. We beat Walker Buehler, and then we played the next day, and that was to go to supers. Kyle, what was Vandy's average the year had he beat them? It was Carson Fulmer, Carson Fulmer, Walker Buehler, and Tyler Beatty was on that team too, I believe. But I don't think we didn't face Carson Fulmer because he pitched game 1.
Wasn't it your teammate from Katuitt? Wasn't one of those guys?
Oh, Mike Yastrzemski was on that team.
Well, Mike Yastrzemski, yes, but
Mike Yastrzemski. Kevin Zomack. Yeah, I mean that team was loaded. That team was loaded with guys. Okay, let's see. But he was left. Zomack wasn't even the guy we played that faced us. Mitch daddied Walker Buehler. He did. I can't remember who threw game 1 of that regional. He sucked and really got us behind the 8 ball. That must have been Dusty. I've been telling the damn world, Canes. What have you been telling the world? Well, I don't have squeeze play up anymore. I'm going to pull it back up because Georgia Tech's kind of cruising right now. Let's see. What is Miami? We'll see what they bring up here in a second. We own this damn state. These effing bums have no business being in this game with us. Dude, wait till the game is over to start talking like that, okay? Wait till the game is over. Polka, my God, what a staff. Yeah, dude, that team was loaded. And then you had like Tony Kemp, Mike Yastrzemski. I mean, that team was like 7 or 8 or 9 big leaguers on that team. Zomack, Dusty says, yeah, he was nasty too. Like sidearm, lefty, kind of mid-90s. Polka, I feel like they all swung newspapers, but man, they could pitch. Yeah, I mean, Vandy's always been kind of, they've never really had the, they've never been an offense that hits a ton of home runs. They've hit a ton of home runs this year. Canes is feeling it. Canes always talking early. Yeah, Polka, he's always talking. And Florida's got their big daddy bullpen guys in right now that all throw cheese. I think this is Burberry. He's throwing at 98. Let's see. Where is Poman? Get Poman in here. Yep. You should have saw me in the first inning. You're hilarious. Texas Longhorns own the state. State of what do you mean? I don't know if we've said anything about Texas. In a petty of darkness. I think that has to be a typo. Dusty, dude, Dansby didn't even start on that team. It was the Latin shortstop who was terrible. I'm trying to remember who that was. Yeah, Dansby was a freshman that year, and he was on the bench. He didn't even play. And then he ended up being the first overall pick. UNLV baseball is about to become much, much better. Yeah, I think so too. I like their hire. Vince Condi. That was the shortstop's name? I remember the name. I just don't remember. I don't really remember him very well. Frank Wren knows best about the Miami Cubans and how they talk. Yeah, he does. You know about the Miami Cubans, Dad?
I do. I spent a lot of time.
You went to Cuba, right? You met Fidel, right?
I did, unfortunately.
Yeah. Back because he pitched or something, right? Was he he was a baseball player, right?
Well, when I went to Cuba twice to see amateur players, the Cuban national team in the early 90s, and then took the Orioles there in 98 and 99 to play the Cuban national team, and we had a reception at the Palace of the Revolution, and Fidel greeted us all.
The Palace of the Revolution. That's a interesting name.
Yeah, we all were wearing these big like name tags with a lanyard, and he grabbed my name tag and he said, "Ren, that's English. They don't play baseball in England."
That's what he said?
That's what he said to me.
Wow. That's crazy. That's a crazy story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll tell you is they don't have a very good dental program in the Cuban government because he had some bad teeth.
What, Fidel Castro?
Oh my gosh.
Always talking and always confident. Yeah, that sounds about right. Frank, do you still have any Spanish left, or do they not speak that in Lake Wedowee?
Not much Spanish. Actually, all of the guys that built my house over there, they all speak Spanish, so I get to practice a little Spanish there. So
yep. You used to be fluent.
I was conversationally fluent 30 years ago.
Yeah, 30 years ago.
But Cuba was the hardest place for me to go.
Yeah.
As was Little Havana in Miami, because it's the slang
different,
and very fast, difficult Spanish.
Yeah, dialect is a little bit different.
Yes.
Loy in for Georgia Tech. Seems like I haven't seen him for a long time. Yeah, it's kind of been Georgia Tech's just been beating teams so bad lately that you haven't seen a ton of like their most dependable guys. GT getting through this game without using Patel is so massive. Yes, 100%. I mean, really, they've had to use really, Loy's going to have to throw, and he may even not have to throw that many pitches. I mean, Caden Gaudette has thrown, but you really still have a ton of guys you can depend on for the third game, depending on what Oklahoma does or what it'll be. I mean, if the game finishes the way it looks, it'll be Oklahoma versus the Citadel tomorrow. Very, very fast. I can't even understand it, Kane says. Yeah, Kane's family business. We're not exactly sure what he does. He has to go down to Cartagena, Colombia.
Oh, Cartagena.
Yeah, he's something.
I was supposed to play in Cartagena back then. The Colombian League was for A to AA players, and I was supposed to go play at Cartagena, and then that's when I had the brain tumor. I couldn't go.
Okay, yeah, and you went down scouting in Venezuela back before it went bad, and that was your favorite place to go, right?
Oh, I love Venezuela, but it's funny. In those days, we would bring the Colombian players to Venezuela because it was too dangerous for us to go to Colombia. Now they go to Colombia and bring the Venezuelan players to Colombia because it's too dangerous to go to Venezuela.
Yeah, and maybe that's changing now. We'll see.
Maybe.
Dusty, it really feels like Tech might get this done. I can't believe my eyes. Tate McKee showed me something tonight. Would love to hear Frank's thoughts on him if he has seen him, ceiling, floor, etc. Starter tonight for Georgia Tech, righty, like 92. He's typically 91 to 95. He'll hit a 96. Like, what do you think from what you saw tonight?
I love the way when he keeps the ball down and he's got good action down. It's just, I mean, he's going to have to be very precise with his stuff.
Yeah.
Because his stuff, I mean, but it's good enough stuff.
But his stuff is really good in college, but you get to the pro level, it's like that's kind of run of the mill stuff.
Right.
And I think that's what people don't understand is like 92, 95 in AA is like, okay, like that's even kind of low.
Right.
I mean, when you get to AA and the scouting report says, right-handed pitcher 94, 96, you're kind of like, okay. That's normal.
This is a fun night.
Yeah, like that's that's like what you see every night. So that's what I think a lot of young players, they don't, when they think I'm throwing 92, 94, it's like that's a below average, that's kind of a below average fastball now. Okay, so Frank is aligned with us. Yes. Yeah, we kind of that's what we kind of think too, Dad. I mean, he's a good pitcher, but there's some people that think he's like, especially like if you're a value in college, especially this year, he's been a really good pitcher. But at the pro level, he's going to be a guy that has to be precise and command his stuff and keep it down. All I need to hear, thank you, sir. It's all right, Dust. If I've been saying Miami is going to Omaha, how is Tech not going to Omaha? What has Tech done all year to show you they have weaknesses or cracks in the armor? It's not about anything this team has done. It's what the last 20 years of Georgia Tech baseball has done, which is not get out of a regional. So we all get a little bit nervous when the regionals come around. So I don't think Georgia Tech's actually gone 2-0 in a regional, though, in a long time, too, which is like the biggest part. You know, when you go 2-0 and now a team has to beat you twice to get to Omaha, and they have to play 5 games.
And having a true home field advantage. Yeah. I don't ever remember Tech having fans like this.
Yes,
and a true home field advantage. This is a whole different environment than I've 100%. Ever seen at Georgia Tech.
And it's been like that all year. It's been totally. I mean, they have 10 sellouts. I think if you include the regional sellouts, I think it's like 11 or 12. Diamond says, why front office instead of coaching? For you?
For me, I didn't want to go in the front office. I wanted to be. I was on the field as a coach, a minor league manager, and the Expos asked me to move into the front office for a year to try it. I didn't want to do it, and I basically said no. And they forced me. Said, do it for a year, and if you don't like it, you can go back on the field.
Yep.
And so I did it for 37 years.
Yeah. So then the rest is history. Only a select few can get to AAA 90 to 94. Got to have balls that drag the floor. That's Dusty. That's Dusty. You just keep talking about yourself, huh, Dust? Come on, man. Kane says Tech wasn't UCLA who had 25 come from behind wins. Yeah, you're right. Still, it's just like you get to the regional and there's that kind of pressure. It can reveal chinks in the armor. Frank, I was at Russ Chandler tonight. It was unlike anything I've ever seen. It was unbelievable. Ramsey has done a great job. Yeah, Dusty said it was electric tonight.
Yeah.
Kyle, ACC and SEC is equivalent to AA, AAA. He might not play minors. He might go straight pro. Yeah, that's exactly right, Dan. Exactly right. What were you about to say, Dad?
No, there's parts of what Paul has said that I agree with. On a given night, you're going to face a guy that's a AA type pitcher.
For sure. Like a Friday night guy on a good ACC team is typically like a AA caliber guy, right. I would say.
Right. And like the really good and the really good teams will have a handful of players.
Guys, maybe. Yeah.
That are out there that, are that caliber. So,
yeah. I mean, I think like back facing Danny Hultzen on Friday night, I mean, that guy was unbelievable. Carlos Rodon, Marcus Stroman. So, I mean, those are 3 guys that you face, and those are guys that got to the big leagues. I mean, Danny Hultzen had to battle through injuries, and he still made it to the big leagues.
Sure.
Even though he was a shell of what he was at Virginia.
Right.
But Marcus Stroman, Carlos Rodon, I mean, a ton of guys. Tyler Wilson was the Saturday guy for Virginia behind Danny Hultzen. He pitched in the big leagues like 7 or 8 years, I think.
Yes.
With the Orioles.
Right.
And maybe a few other teams. What pitcher had the nastiest pitch Frank scouted?
The nastiest pitch, probably J.R. Richards.
Okay.
James Rodney Richards with the Astros. Because he threw 100 and his slider was like 92 or 93.
Yeah.
And it was just, I mean, it was just electric. I mean, everything about it was electric.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember you telling me about scouting Josh Hamilton when he was in high school, and you said he was like maybe the only player you ever scouted who you thought he could have gone 1-1 as a hitter if he was just a hitter, or as a pitcher and if he was just a pitcher, right?
Yeah,
like he was that talented.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Laugh out loud, Polka. Skeens was an ace that year, a big league ace at LSU. Like he was a big league ace pitching in college. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, feel bad for the hitters that had to face him on Friday night. That was, I mean, you see what his stuff does in some clips in the big leagues, and you're like, I mean, that guy's going to be, if he's healthy, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Josh Hamilton was awesome. Yeah, it's sad what he could have been, potentially one of the greatest players ever if the whole substance abuse issues didn't hit him. Frank, I've never asked you this, but I need to know. Talk about the entire Kimbrel timeline. At his peak, I've never seen anyone more dominant. All right, Dad, talk about Craig Kimbrel.
Craig Kimbrell, the combination of
He went
Kimbrell
to
and
Wallace State, JUCO, right? Was he out of JUCO?
he was out of a JUCO over in I
Alabama,
think
right?
maybe in Tennessee, maybe
Okay.
might have been Columbia, but he was from just in Alabama, just north of Huntsville.
Huntsville, yeah.
Yeah, and he and Johnny Venters were coming along at the same time. Johnny Venters was a starter, and all of a sudden, he gets in the bullpen, and that combination, those two guys were as good a bullpen along with O'Flaherty.
Yeah, unbelievable. Like,
Those three guys were. It was game was over,
yeah,
and
game
I
was
have
over.
and I
Oh,
have
ventrable. Oh, ventrable. That's
yeah.
what they
When
called him.
when Venters was at his best, he is on a small handful of the best left-handers I've ever seen throw.
Yeah.
Because he was 95 to 97 with the fastball, and he couldn't
And
throw it straight
it sunk like a like
like this.
yeah,
I remember him
crazy
throwing a
sink.
pitch in Dodger Stadium, and it was their first baseman, left-handed hitting first baseman, and he threw it right down the middle, and it took his kneecap off.
Yeah.
And it started right down the middle, and he was swinging, and next thing you know, it's hitting his kneecap. The
Yeah.
ball moved so much; it was unbelievable. And Kimbrell, he had that
Low release.
low release, and
Yep.
which is what the analytics guys. He was their star
Yeah.
because the analytics guys love the guys that came here in the ball.
Yeah. That low release four seam.
Four seam, and the ball, it appears to rise. It doesn't rise,
Yeah.
but it falls a lot less than anyone else, and
Yeah.
it's almost, if you can throw it at the belt, you can't hit it.
Yeah.
When he tried to get the ball down, when he was down around the knees, he was very hittable. But as long as he kept it belt and above, he was unhittable. And then he had a nasty hammer.
Hammer, yeah. Power curve, basically, right?
I remember when he was pitching in Myrtle Beach in the Carolina League, and the first night, the umpire must have missed 15 pitches.
Yeah, because it was just so nasty he couldn't. Yeah.
Well, he was in those days. He still tried to keep the ball down in the minor leagues because those guys couldn't hit him. But he was throwing it at the knees, and the umpire was giving up on it because a typical fastball would do this, but his would do this.
Stay up, yeah, stay up,
and it would stay at the knees. And they missed 10 pitches. He just dominated.
And so you're like, his outing was a lot better than.
Oh, his outing was outstanding.
Like. Yeah,
he walked like three guys and might have blown the save, but his stuff was unhittable, and they were all strikes.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to the umpires. I'm telling Rocket Wheeler was the manager.
Yeah.
I said, Rocket, when you talk to those umpires in the future, you need to make sure they understand this guy's different. Don't give up on that low pitch thinking it's going to be a ball. That low pitch is going to ride, and it's going to stay right on the knees.
Yeah, yeah. The best player Frank Wren has ever seen is Alex Fernandez, Dusty?
No.
Off the field wasn't. Canes, the goat of goats of Dade County, Frank Wren even pulled up to one of the high schools I went to scout Fernandez. Did you scout Alex Fernandez down in Dade County?
Alex Rodriguez.
The goat of goats of Dade County. Alex Rodriguez. Yeah, Canes, that might be a typo. I don't know. Did Frank scout Derek Jeter? Did you scout Derek? Yeah, you did.
I did. I flew into Kalamazoo, Michigan on a cold, rainy March day and watched him hit 2 home runs.
In high school?
In high school.
And what did you think of him after, coming away from that game?
I came away from him thinking this is superior athlete, just an all-around good-looking player. Did I think he was going to be a Hall of Famer? No. I mean, no. I didn't see that, but I saw a really good player.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's really tough to look at it, especially one game, and go, "This guy's going to be a Hall of Famer."
Yeah, no, I don't think you see that very
often. Because if you put that down, you look like an idiot if you're not right.
Right.
Here comes Bilka to blow the game. Yeah, Miami. This is not what you want to see. Runners on first and second, 1 out, tie game. With Florida. Appreciate the GM talk. Just wanted to hop in and say one more win from my Horns to host our first Super Regional since 2021. Good luck. Good luck, Horns. Not a typo. Alex Fernandez, 2-way player from Monsignor Pace, went to Miami for 1 year, then to MDC 1 year, then went first round in MLB. He pitched for the Marlins. Yeah. I know that Alex Fernandez very well. Wonderful guy. And I did see him in high school. I saw him in college. So I'm at Miami-Dade,
when he went to junior college to transfer out to get drafted. Then he went #1 pick with the White Sox. And then we traded for him with the Marlins. And then he got hurt in the playoffs that year when we won the World Series.
Yeah. I genuinely thought Jose Fernandez was going to be one of the best pitchers we ever saw. Yeah, I mean, he certainly had the chance to be that before that just terrible accident.
Mm-hmm.
Carl,
he was incredible.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. My Astros had the #1 overall pick in Jeter's draft. We took Phil Nevin instead. I mean, he ended up being pretty good though, right?
Yeah, Nevin was okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can't remember. Okay. I mean, that's kind of far back for me, but I know the name, so I feel like he couldn't have been like a bust, right?
No, but
it was #1 overall pick, I guess. So
yeah,
probably in those terms, probably considered that. Dusty Frank, here is other end of the spectrum. Tell us one player that was on the list that you go to see and you just didn't see it you didn't see it and turned out to be a great player.
Trying to think.
That never happened. Never happened.
No. It happened. It happened.
It happens. I feel like if you see enough players, it's going to happen.
Aaron Judge. I didn't go see him, but I watched a lot of video on him, and we were scared to death of strikeouts because he struck out like 40% of the time in college.
Yeah,
I think at Pacific. I think
it was Fresno State. I think Fresno State,
and it might have been. But anyway, our scout loved the kid.
Yeah.
Our scout had a really good relationship with him, and I don't think we could have got him anyway. But we were scared to death of the strikeouts.
Yeah,
because they were, and to his credit, the strikeouts were horrible through the minor leagues, and when he first got to the big leagues, and he
still strikes out a ton, but he just finds a way to get hits when he doesn't strike out and hit home.
Yeah, and he hits 310-foot home runs to right field that are pop-ups anywhere else.
It does help.
Oh my gosh, I saw him hit a home run the other night that was just almost like a check swing and pop up to right, and it's 10 rows deep.
Yeah. I mean, how crazy is that right field? I mean, it's super short and it's kind of a wind tunnel too, right?
It's a wind tunnel that they when they did all the specs and designing that stadium, they didn't realize it was going to be a wind tunnel, and it's so short. Yeah. It's any right-handed hitter that hit a fly ball to right center, it's gone.
Yeah. Frank, it must have been the highlights against Isaacs. 0 for 4, 4 punchies against Aaron Judge. Is that in the Cape, Dusty? Oh my gosh, what just happened? Oh, Miami.
Yeah.
Oh, Miami. Third baseman just has to get to the base, and he's not at the base. Oh my gosh, now Florida's got a big opportunity. Even though there's 2 outs. Did Frank scout Judge? No, he said they watched a ton of video on him because you were GM at the GM at the time. You weren't going out scouting.
No.
Kentucky is 2-0, by the way. Yeah, thanks. I know. I know. I already tweeted about it. All right. Dusty, this worked out perfectly for me. He did not see it well against Isaacs. Was that in the Cape, Dusty, when you faced Judge? No way they're reviewing this. I mean, it wasn't even close. He's not even close to the bag at third. You seeing that, Dad, on Squeeze Play?
Yeah.
Third baseman just didn't get to the bag. No way Miami reviewed this, right?
Are they reviewing that he popped up off the bag?
Or? I can't imagine what they'd be reviewing, but Miami should have been out of the inning, and third baseman just didn't get to the bag. But Miami is without their star third baseman, Daniel Cuvée. So that's ball will find you, even though he's been out for about a month. All right. Yeah. Bad lighting in Brewster. Yeah. Fog probably was rolling in. Yeah. No lights on the field. Sun was going down probably. Got any tips for a pro Zoom tomorrow? Pro Zoom? What do you mean by pro Zoom? Just give me some more context there, Nick. Cayutes, what would Mercer's record be in this regional if they replaced Kentucky? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. All right. Who knows if they would even been in that regional? We'll see. They have probably a better offense than Kentucky, so they probably would have beaten Wake Forest, and maybe they would have won the night. I don't know. Did Frank scout Kershaw? Dad, did you?
No.
I mean, you were what, assistant GM when he was drafted, right? Or were you GM? No, you might have been. It was right around the time you became GM of Atlanta.
I don't
Maybe a
think
little
so.
bit before that.
It was before that, yeah.
Like 2005 or 6 or something, maybe.
Yeah, I would have been assistant GM. I would have been in the draft meetings, but I
you
didn't
weren't
have
going
any
out
involvement.
scouting.
No, I didn't have any involvement.
Pro call? Nick, what do you mean by pro, though? Can give me some more context around the fact that it's a pro Zoom? I have an idea of what you might be saying, but I don't know enough to give you tips. All right, so Miami, Florida had now 2-0 count, 2 strikes, or sorry, 2-0 count, 2 outs. Bases juiced for Florida. This is a big situation. 3-0 count now. Oh my gosh. If you're Miami, this is nightmare scenario because your defense is just letting you down. What's Terry doing? Mom is up in Pennsylvania visiting her dad and family.
Yeah, his 90th birthday.
His 90th birthday, yeah. Bases loaded, walk, 4 straight balls. And this is Miami's, this is the Achilles heel of Miami, is their bullpen is just, there's no depth. There's nobody there. And so if there's just nothing they can depend on. JD's going to go get him now. Who's the Mercer fan here? What am I missing? No, so Dan, I made a tweet about 3 days ago saying that I thought Mercer should get in over Kentucky. Kentucky fans, that got boosted in the algorithm, and all the Kentucky fans were hating on me. And now Kentucky's gone 2-0 in the regional, and so now I'm getting lambasted by Kentucky fans. Kappa, I am going to be the Canes of UNLV baseball in 2027. Perfect. You're going to be the inside info. Vance Sheehan, worst shortstop since Rich Pazzo, 1979. That wasn't Sheehan's fault, though. Third baseman wasn't covering the bag. Third baseman's got to get there. That wasn't his fault. 90 years old is amazing. Yeah, it is. Kyle, please tell Terry to give cousin Alex my best. I will tell my mom to give cousin Alex your best. He was supposed to come down, wasn't he, Dad? Is he coming down at some point?
I think so. I think in maybe the next week or two.
That's what she said. Colby said today, that maybe it was going to come down a little bit later than what she originally said. But yeah, Dusty, he's coming down to Atlanta at some point. So maybe we'll get to see him. Dad, you just let me know when it's getting too late and you want to hop off if you need to. Because I know
I'm good.
It's 11:30. I know it's getting close to 11:30 here. I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm gonna pull up the Georgia Tech game while the squeeze play is. I can't bear to watch Miami just give it up after they should have been out of the inning. Diamond, thoughts on Sunbelt performance in the tournament? Is it caliber of SEC, ACC? Well, I mean, Coastal and Southern Miss. I mean, listen, Southern Miss are already out, so they as a host have not done well. I do think the Sun Belt is probably, Sun Belt is the 4th best conference in baseball. Like the Big Ten is behind the Sun Belt. So it's not surprising to see Sun Belt teams have success. You look at like Texas State, they've looked pretty good. Coastal has looked pretty good. I don't think any of them have looked amazing. But I do think the Sun Belt is a really good conference, but they have not performed very well in the tournament. But it's not like they've played terrible. Although like Southern Miss, you look at it, you know, as a host, you kind of want to win, but Sun Belt a bump above SEC, notch below ACC. Yeah. Cute. You've been an amazing sport. I don't mean any hate, brother, but real question is Milan Momsilovich going to Kentucky, and if UCLA loses their regional and Kentucky wins ours, does Kentucky have a chance to win it? I think there's a typo in there about who would go to Kentucky. All right, so Georgia Tech just wins the regional or wins the game. They're 2-0 now. So that is massive. 9-3 win, game over. We need more Frank appearances in the future. All right, you heard it, Dad.
No.
Book him. Book him. All right, so Georgia Tech wins. Florida, next batter is in a 2-0 count. They got to get out of this without giving up any more runs. This could be a dagger for Miami if Florida gets a knock here. Oh, man, 3-0 count now. Milwaukee up 10-6 on UCF in the top of the 8th.
That's my new favorite team.
Milwaukee's about to go to the regional final if they can hold off UCF. And Pat Murphy gave a great interview because he had met with Milwaukee's team before the season started and kind of gave them like a preseason talk. And then I guess they came to the Brewers Stadium before they went down there, and he basically said, you guys got nothing to lose. Like, go down there. Like, there's no stress. No one expects you to win. Just go down there and play and have fun. He's like, there's more pressure on Auburn because they're expected to win. You guys are not expected to win. And now they're, 6 outs away from playing in the regional final? And possibly, they may not even have to face Auburn again. Is it Milan, a basketball player from Iowa State? I don't know. We need more. Yeah. Frank, did Kyle tell you I had breakfast with Dave when he was in Atlanta about a month ago? Caught him in the lobby.
I saw the picture.
Remember? Yeah, I sent you the picture. Yeah. You took a picture of him, Dusty. You didn't have breakfast with him.
I had dinner with him that night at the ballpark.
Yeah. Cute. If UCLA loses their regional and Kentucky wins their regional, does Kentucky have a chance at winning their super regional? Is Kentucky matched with UCLA? Let me look here. Is Kentucky
60, that's 16-1, isn't it?
Is Kentucky, I have to check again. Is Kentucky they're
16. That's the 16th regional.
Because they're at West Virginia.
Yeah.
Is West Virginia the 16? Yeah, I mean, so if UCLA loses their regional, if UCLA loses their regional, Kentucky's got a great chance because the other teams in UCLA's regional are St. Mary's, Cal Poly, and Virginia Tech. So, yeah, I mean, if UCLA doesn't win their regional, Kentucky feels great about that super regional matchup, no matter which of the other 3 teams it is. Because Virginia Tech, kind of barely made it in out of the ACC, even though they have decent arms. They don't have very good offense. Frank, what would Kyle have batted in the bigs over 10 years? Interesting question.
Yeah, I think he would have been a good player.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll never know. No. We'll never know. But I mean, I think I would have done pretty well. Because I think I always did well in like pressure situations, and I think that's kind of you get to the big leagues, like everything's a pressure situation.
Yeah.
Dusty, I absolutely hate to admit this, but Kyle is a 260 hitter in the big leagues with good defense, but terrible arm. Thanks, Dusty. Thank you. Again, is that a you hate to admit that? Is that a compliment, or is that? I'm guessing you're using that as a compliment. Eric, someone needs to check the FanDuel account of Miami's shortstop. Yeah.
Yeah, he just booted a routine one.
Did he just boot it? Oh yeah. My gosh. Miami's defense, man, it's really bad. You just can't make those kind of mistakes against. I mean, they should have been out of this inning. Third baseman doesn't cover third, then boots a routine ground ball that allows a couple more runs to score. That's the type of play. That's the type of inning that just the game's over, right? Like, how can you recover from that? And now this ball gets away. Catcher, no urgency getting up. Florida fans are actively flicking off Miami fans in the stands after that play. They just showed that. 260 nowadays rakes, man. What do you mean? Nowadays, yeah, I guess that's true. 260 is that's a plus hitter nowadays. What's the highest did you make it in the Reds organization? Well, most of my career was with the Brewers, but I was in AAA for 5 years. So I was in Louisville with the Reds. Pawtucket for half a year with the Red Sox, and then most of my time was in Colorado Springs with the Brewers. Nowadays, yeah, I get what you mean, Dust. 260, yeah, I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad. It is tough up there, that's for sure. Man, this inning is just getting away from Miami. USC Upstate gets a big double play headed to the bottom of the 8th. They're down by 3 against Alabama. Milwaukee has 2 outs, or is that UCF? That's Milwaukee. Milwaukee has 2 outs in the top of the 8th.
Oh man,
no,
bases clearing.
Yeah, this game's over now. I mean, it's 6th inning, but 15-8 now. Like, that's how big of a deal is defense. You know, like, it should be a tie game in the top of the 7th, and it's still 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th with 7 unearned runs.
The one thing about Ron Frazier, when he was the head coach at Miami forever,
yeah,
they really could catch the ball. He always had great Latin shortstops and second basemen. These guys, they caught the ball.
Yeah. Kyle has that viral catch in Pawtucket. Play it for us. All right, Dan. If that's what you're looking for, Dan, I'll pull it up for a second. Just for you, Dan.
I was in Fenway Park that night, and everybody came running up showing it to me.
Yeah, and the thing is, the video back then, the video on you can almost not even tell, like, because it's like 380p, like right. It's like so unclear. Right. But this is the catch. All right, Dan. All right. I got to change this again here. There you go, Dan. Yeah, and everyone loved me for that because that would have tied the game. We might have had to go into extras. And that was Trevor Kelly, who was pitching. Remember him? He was from, I think he pitched at UNC. But he was younger than me, so I never faced him, I don't think. Dusty, the thing most people don't realize is that folks in AAA can easily play in the big leagues, but don't get the opportunity, probably because GMs don't know what they're doing. Kane's got quiet.
In some cases, that's true.
Yes. Kane's got quiet. Yeah, it's, Kane's was talking a lot, and Miami fell off the rails. Did Miami win? That video is doctored AI slop. What's up, Wiley Ballard Enjoyer? Miami did not win. It is the 6th inning. They should have gotten out of the inning with it being tied 8-8, given up no runs, and they've proceeded to give up 7 runs. Florida has scored 7 runs on 1 hit in the bottom of the 6th. 1 run. Or, sorry, 1 hit. 7 runs. That is not good. Sick catch. Thanks, Kappa. Now, if you're Miami, you're kind of going into mode like, we're just going to bring in some pitchers that we don't really depend on. And
this could get ugly.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to burn any more guys, because now you're looking at, we're going to have to go out. We're going to have to go through the losers bracket game tomorrow and then play a game at night, and then if we win that, play another game on Monday.
Right.
So you got to just use guys that you don't even normally use here and hope you can mount some kind of comeback and not give up any more runs. Also, headphones died, so I can't hear. WB, so nice to see you tonight. What a catch. Thanks, Nick. Canes defense once again advanced Sheehan, the worst shortstop since Rich Pazzo. Kyle, play us another highlight. No more highlights, Dan. Why don't you? We'll play some of your highlights next. We'll play your 27 jacks in the big league compilation. 150K for him. That is embarrassing, truthfully. Yeah, certainly the defense is letting you down, Canes. Canes, they are still alive, man. Yes, they are still alive. You know, they still can come back and win this, but even if they lose, they're still alive. It's just going to be a lot more difficult. All right, so Oregon is up 4-0 on Washington State. Bottom of the ninth, 1 out. Washington State does have a runner on first. Little Rock and Jacksonville State. How about this game in the Hattiesburg Regional? The 3 seed and the 4 seeds are playing in the winner's bracket game. Little Rock, the 4 seed, is ahead of Jacksonville State in the 7th with 2 outs. So Little Rock would be a 4 seed 2-0 if they win this. In Milwaukee, so we might have 2 4 seeds in Milwaukee and Arkansas Little Rock in the winner's bracket final, which would be crazy. Kyle, our freshman year in center was the best catch I've seen. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. That one, yeah, that was a good one. That isn't even the best Kyle Wren catch of his life. Bring back the St. John's catch. Yeah, that's the one Dan's talking about. That was definitely the best catch of my life. I don't know what I was doing there. I could have been out for the whole season running to that wall. Canes, it's done, brother. Canes, 30 minutes ago you were talking about how you ran the state, and now you're saying it's done. Mott, what's up, Mott? You are a dollar general version of Frank. Thanks, Mott. Appreciate that. Polka, then he got that freshman 15 and lost a step, and I had to start playing right field instead of watching. Yeah, sure, Dan, sure. That's not how I remember it. Sorry, I had to clap back at a guy on Twitter real quick. Okay, serious question. Frank, is it true that Colby absolutely raked in high school? Urban legends say he was the truth.
Yeah, he was, I would say up until about 10th grade, he was the best athlete in the family.
He was, yeah, he was.
And
he really was.
And all the scouts, they called him the hitter. They said, I really like the hitter, and that was Colby.
Yeah, I remember Alan Matthews after East Coast Pro. I remember it was like a couple years later. I think it was like my freshman or sophomore, junior year in college. And he was the Rocky scout in Georgia. Right. And I remember we were talking about something, and he was like, you know who had the best East Coast Pro on the Georgia team? And I was like, I didn't know where he was going with it. And I was like, I can't remember. And he was like, it was your brother. Because I think Colby had like 8 at-bats and like 4 hits and a couple doubles or something like that.
Yeah, he crushed a couple balls. At Lakeland, which was a mile.
Oh, yeah. Wood bats in high school at Lakeland, it was like ball went nowhere.
Right.
I didn't get to watch the game. Did GT look good? Yeah, offense was a little bit slow to start, but their arm was like a freshman throwing 97 with a split, and it was like it looked like it was coming out hot too. Like it was a firm 97, and that sounds dumb, but if you face guys that throw 97, there's some guys that throw 97, it doesn't look like 97. It looks like 92. And there's some guys that throw 97 and it looks like 97 to 100. So it looked like it was getting on guys, but they finally got to him. Parker Brocious just carried the team early and then blew it open in like the 6th inning. Frank, you should know that Colby told me the Twins offered him $500K at freshman orientation. That is totally a lie. That is not true. If he said that, that is definitely a lie. Kyle, my son says you look like Derek Huff from Step Brothers. I get that. I get that all the time. That's the guy's name is Adam. I forget his real name, but I get that all the time. Someone tell Mott he doesn't want the Citadel to get past the Sooners tomorrow. Oh, Eric, I forgot, man. The Citadel. Hey, watch out for the Citadel, man. They've had a great year. I would honestly, sorry, Eric, but I would love it if the Citadel got past the Sooners tomorrow. No offense. I know the Sooners can pitch. I don't know if their offense doesn't seem that great, but they can pitch. I mean, that freshman was crazy impressive, right? Like that guy has to be a first rounder in a couple years. with the stuff he was showing, and he had pretty good command. Adam Scott. Yeah, Adam Scott. It needs to stop. Yeah. What do you think, Dad, like future for that guy? I mean, I think it kind of looked like Marcus Stroman, to be honest, just the way fastball came out and everything like that.
Yeah, he has really good feel for his stuff, and he's good delivery, good body.
Yeah,
I
clean.
mean, he has all the things. I don't know how tall he is.
Yeah, I think he looked like he might be like 6 foot or something.
Yeah,
That's why he looks kind of like maybe 5'10", like Marcus
right.
Stroman or something.
But he was very, very impressive. And
he was.
You another year or so, and I was shocked that they said that was only his second or third start.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they have arms. I mean, his older brother is one of their weekend starters, and he threw in relief in game 1. I'm not sure why. But Skip Johnson, their Oklahoma's head coach, he's like a known, just absolute monster developer of pitchers. So
right.
I think that's Kershaw. It's like Kershaw. That's like his guy is Skip Johnson. I don't know where the connection comes from, but they always talk about that. Citadel was founded in 1842. Thanks for that, Cap. No offense taken. We've been playing with house money since getting past Mercer. Yeah. Is Eric a Florida State Citadel or Ohio State fan? A Florida State Citadel or Ohio State fan? I'm not sure where you're going with that, Dan. I'm a fan of sitting in hot tubs with you, Dan. HDMH, Frank, haven't you heard? I don't even know
what's that mean?
I don't know.
If you don't know, I know I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what that means. I don't know what that means, Dusty. Today a pitcher for Virginia struck out a guy against who were they playing? I forget. Who was Virginia playing? They were playing the 3 seed. Anyway, he struck out a batter, and of course we got like the screaming "F you" at the hitter like multiple times. He got tossed, and I tweeted about it saying like, why are we doing something like that? He ends up getting ejected, and the guys come in after him and give up like 3 or 4 runs the next inning. And Virginia ended up still winning. But I basically tweeted like, why can't we just strike out a guy, and you can be pumped up, but you don't have to say that to the opposing hitter. And now you've cost your team. Now you're suspended for the next game and everything like that. And people are responding to me on Twitter like, what? He's fired up. It's in the moment. What's the big deal? And I'm like, you can be fired up and not say that. And like, it's an elimination game. You've already lost 1 game. If you lose this game, you're done. And Dusty said height doesn't measure heart. That was Stroman's signature line. Yeah. The funny story about Stroman, and Dusty will say this, is he always would tweet things like, always been doubted and all this stuff. And I guess Dusty said one of the beat writers for the Blue Jays finally called him on it. He was like, weren't you like a 1st round pick? You couldn't have been doubted that much. It's not like you were picked in like the 27th round. You were a 1st round pick out of college. It just blows my mind how your shortstop can be your worst defender on the team. Like, how is that possible? That is bad. Dusty said Canes is in a blender. All right, so Milwaukee and UCF are in the bottom of the 8th, and Milwaukee is threatening with no outs, runners on 2nd and 3rd. Milwaukee's trying to add on to the 4-run lead here. And Little Rock is threatening with runners on 2nd and 3rd and no outs in the top of the 8th. So both of these games are 4 seeds facing a 2 or a 3 seed. It's the 8th inning. They both have runners on 2nd and 3rd trying to add on to their lead. We may have a couple super regionals with 4 seeds in it. Don't sleep on the Horizon League. Good ball. Yeah, I mean, it's hey, they're playing like they're out of their mind right now. It's amazing. I think if you had to pick a 4 seed There's a couple 4 seeds I think you would look at and think, man, they got no chance. I think Milwaukee was one of them. I think you could say like maybe Long Island too, with how they've kind of looked in the Athens regional. But this is just insane what Milwaukee's doing, and Little Rock too. I mean, they're about to beat Jacksonville State. And then you have St. John's in Northern Illinois tomorrow. So you have the 4 and the 3 seed in the 1-0 game in the Tallahassee regional. I'm trying to see the Athens. Did they not play today? I haven't seen anything about the Georgia games. They must have had bad weather over there in Athens. I got the Walker monitor up right here. Make sure he's...
Yeah, there you go.
I got it right here in case I got a bolt for some reason. All right. Frank, who is the best pitcher under 6'2" you ever saw?
Probably Sandy Koufax.
He was under 6'2"?
Yeah.
How tall was he?
Maybe 6 foot, but maybe 5'10". Oh, yeah, he's a little
Really? Guy. I didn't know he was I thought he was taller than that.
No, a little lefty.
Really? Little lefty, yeah. I'm sure he would like to be called that too. He would like to have been called that.
Wonderful guy.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm just disgusted by this man, Sheehan, the worst player I've ever seen in a Miami uniform. Polka, good night, Kyle. Got to get ready for Disney with Zane. First time going, big time. Oh, yeah, I saw you guys were down there because Zane's in Orlando now, right? That'll be fun. Let me know how it goes. I know my way around that place. Been around all those parks, right, Dad?
Mm-hmm.
Around the Disney World parks for all the secret places. Yeah. Him and Bowman get the same treatment in Miami for life. 2 times paying for everything, paying 2x for everything. Cal Poly playing great fundamental baseball. Frank, you never saw Sandy Koufax. Cap. Dusty says you're making that up.
No, that's when I was probably 7, 8, 9 years old.
Okay. At what game?
I never
saw him. Where'd you see him at?
I saw him on TV.
Oh, on TV.
Yeah.
What about someone that you evaluated once you were in the pro game that was under 6'2"?
Oh, a guy we talked about earlier, Craig Kimbrell. I mean,
yeah.
Kimbrell's 5'10".
Yep. Probably hard to beat him. I mean, Chris Medlin was really good.
Medlin might have been 5'9".
Yeah.
And before he had Tommy John,
yeah,
he had one of the best changeups I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And he knew how to pitch, and he could spin it. He had all 3 pitches.
Frank, did you see the Stan Musial play?
No.
Dusty says Frank has the Ren gene. It's official. Maybe Frank originated the Ren gene. Dusty doesn't believe that you saw Sandy Koufax. He thinks you're making it up. He thinks you're making it up like Colby told Danny the Twins offered him $500K.
No. You got to remember, I'm a little older. So
yes, a little bit older. A little bit. Yeah, Cal Poly beating St. Mary's 12-1. So it looks like we're going to see Cal Poly move on to the winner's bracket final. Upstate is the 9th inning with Alabama versus South Carolina Upstate. 1 out, nobody on, so they need to get a rally going. Milwaukee is still up 10-6. There's 1 out now, bases loaded. So this is where the dagger can get delivered, bottom 8. Get to that 5-run lead where the grand slam can't tie the game. You feel pretty good. Wow, the game, Mississippi State all of a sudden has gone up. They're now up 10-1 on Cincinnati. Man, this stream has gone pretty late. Dad, is this the latest you've been up in a while or what?
No, I've...
You stay up till midnight typically?
It's getting close. Yeah, midnight every once in a while. I usually shut it down about 11:15.
Yeah. That's usually about what I typically do, but this is kind of there's too many games going on. I do want to see Milwaukee finish off the game and potentially see who's the other 4 seed we were just talking about. Milwaukee and
Little Rock.
Little Rock, yeah. And then tomorrow, St. John's 4 seed playing in the 1-0 game. And Milwaukee, oh my, Milwaukee does add another one. Pitcher for, I don't know if you just saw this, Dad, UCF, wild pitch. Pitcher doesn't even cover home. And the catcher gets it, spins, and throw. Oh, he fell. Okay, he tripped coming off the mound. And then he nails the Milwaukee guy. Thanks for staying up, guys. Enjoying the stream out here in Vegas. You're welcome, Cap. Terry is gone. Frank is batching it. Yeah, Frank's staying up late with Terry.
That's right.
Oh my, Milwaukee just delivering the dagger. Line drive into center. 12-6 now for Milwaukee. Upstate now has, I believe, it's 2 outs, runners on first and second. So tying run comes to the plate for South Carolina Upstate. I mean, this has to be the biggest offensive explosion for Milwaukee all year. You put up 10-plus runs against the best pitching staff, arguably the best pitching staff in the country in Auburn. And then you put up 13 runs against a really solid, really good UCF team. Canes, if we have any chance of winning this regional, we need Tate to eat some innings here. Yeah, you need somebody to eat innings and save the rest of your pitching staff. Upstate double, second and third, 2 outs. They're down by 2. So go ahead, run is at the plate now. They're going to review the play at second. I mean, that is a risky push for a double. If you don't make it, if you're out here, which I think he's safe unless he comes off the bag. I don't think they're going to be able to overturn that. I don't think from that replay there's any way they could tell that the tag is on him. No, I think they're going to call him. He's going to be safe. Little Rock did add on against Jacksonville State. They're now up 8-4. There's no way they can overturn that, right? Dusty, all right, fellas, I am done for the night. Frank, thanks for joining. Until next time. All right, see you, Dusty. Here's to hoping we have a Citadel versus Tech game so I can dunk on Eric. Good night, Dusty. They have to, there's no way they can overturn this. From what you see, can you tell if there's anything you see there that could make them overturn that? In the Alabama,
I can't see it.
From South Carolina Upstate?
Yeah, I don't have it.
Oh, you don't have squeeze? Do you have squeeze play up?
Well, my TV in my office, I don't have it logged in.
Okay.
On my other TV, I do, but not in here.
Okay. Yeah, so Little Rock is up 8-4 now, bottom 8. They're still reviewing this play. I don't know how they could overturn it. There's just no way the view's not good enough. They're coming out now. Good night, Eric. Good night, guys. Enjoyed it. Yeah, thanks, Eric. All right, so he's safe at second. Holy cow. Jacksonville State gets a runner on with 1 out in the 8th. I just want to see how this Upstate game, how this inning ends, and then I'm probably going to call it for the night. Because it looks like Milwaukee is going to easily win the game unless something goes terribly wrong. Little Rock looks like they should win. I mean, they got a 4-run lead in the 8th. Laz Gutierrez will be fired after this game. I can promise you. I don't think so, Canes. I don't think so. I think you're panicking. I think you're in panic mode. Reason why, how can you have a pitching coach and the staff is so bad? And also, how can you be a mental skills coach if have pitchers who aren't mentally strong? It doesn't add up. Well, I mean, their pitching was a strength last year. The starting pitching is very strong this year. The bullpen's not great. The ball hit to center field for Alabama, catches it, game over. So Alabama moves on to the regional final. And Little Rock is looking like they'll Jacksonville State. Oh my, Jacksonville State going to be a double or triple off the wall. Alabama made 6 errors and still won. Holy cow.
Ooh.
How do you make 6 errors and win? Or he will leave himself. I do know he is going through something at home, so that can be one of the reasons he leaves. Canes, just I think you need to like go to sleep and wake up tomorrow and know that there's still a shot. Something you don't wish on no one truthfully, but business is business, brother. Oh my gosh. All right. I think that's going to be it for tonight. So, Dad, thanks for joining. Everybody, thanks for chatting with us. And I'll definitely be back tomorrow. So we'll see if maybe if you want to get back on here, Dad, we can do that.
I may be able to.
Okay. All right.